Come on, grab a seat, grab a seat. How you guys feeling this morning? You happy? You like who you're sitting next to? There's some maybes in there. If you don't like who you're sitting next to, just get up and move to a different seat. Could you imagine if people did that, like they just got up and just moved over? It was just the most awkward thing in the whole world. But hey, it's our honor to be here. As Lyle said, my dad, I think a lot of him became friends about a year ago. And about, 2 months ago, my dad was like, you should be friends with this guy named Lyle. And I think you guys have a lot in common. And that was an understatement. We are literally the same human being in so many ways. I'm just better looking than him. But come on, just kidding. But it's been an honor. My wife and I, we've been here since Thursday. It was my wife's birthday on Friday, so we've kind of been here all weekend for her birthday. But as Lyle said, my wife Julia is here. This summer's 10 years of us being married. 11 years of us flirting on AIM. Do you guys remember AIM? Are you guys old enough to have AIM, Yeah, so we've been together for, 11 and a half years now. We have 2 kids. We have an almost 8-year-old son named Cruz Jackson, and we have a 5-year-old daughter named Quinn Amira. And then my wife is 17 weeks pregnant right now. And I just found out it was a boy on Thursday before we left. Found out it's a boy, so that's great. But no, it's our honor to be here with you. And as a guest speaker, usually when you go places, you're there for a week, and you meetings and lunches and convos, you leave drained, right? It's a long 4, 5, 6, whatever days. You leave drained, you're tired, you want to get home. This trip, I'm leaving full. I'm not leaving drained. And so this has been such a fun time, and I feel like I found my long-lost Southern brothers with Lyle and Spencer. We played basketball yesterday. They both got worked. I'm just kidding, but not really. But it's been such an amazing trip. It's an honor to have you guys. I love you guys so much. And I've now committed myself to your guys' family. I'm now the weird uncle that's going to show up randomly and be at Thanksgiving dinner and eat all your food and leave. And so you're going to see me a lot more. Look at Spencer. You're behind the booth, first service. Now you're behind cameras, second service. Look, serving the Lord. Come on, Spencer. Wow, look at him. Look at him. Wow, Spencer. You servant, you. Wow. Wow. Look at you. Someone's happy about that. I'm so excited to share today, and my clock has started, so I better start. But I'm not a guest today. I consider myself family at this point, and so I'm going to preach as I do at Rose and share a message I did at Rose that helped our church greatly. And I'm so excited to just help build and come alongside an amazing team. Today, obviously, is Sunday. If you didn't know, today's Sunday. Back home, our church just started. We're 2 hours back right now. And in 3 years, I've missed 2 Sundays, including today. And so today is the second Sunday I've ever missed in over 3 years. And so there's only certain people I'd miss a Sunday for. And so back home, a guy named Lyle, who just met, his name's Pastor Steve. He just met him. He's speaking today. He's 74, was a church planter in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and now he's with us. They're amazing. But we got lunch on Thursday talking. He said something that I just thought was so challenging, talking about churches and ministry and everything. He was like, Andrew, I've realized at this side of life, right, he's 74, looking back. I've realized is that God treats churches how churches treat their pastors. So my challenge to you is take care of your pastors. Take care of your leaders. You guys thankful for your pastors, Allison and Lyle? They're amazing. They're the best. Well, let's get to the word today. You guys ready? Yeah. And I'm going to speak from this book called the Bible. And if you are newer to church, we're so honored to have you. If your girlfriend made you come to church, if your neighbor tricked you into brunch, but you're here now. Right? If someone's like, hey, we'll hang out, and they text you and you showed up here, and you're like, I thought this was going to be a restaurant. Hey, there's a cafe out there. It's the same thing, So if this is a new space for you, and spirituality, Jesus, if this is a new space for you, karaoke was really loud and overwhelming. This is different. Man, it's an honor to have you. And if this is new for you, please get plugged in. Find somebody at the lanyard, a team member, some pastoral team. If you want to get plugged in, have questions, want to pray with someone. So if this is new to you, man, it's our honor to have you. And you're going to find out really quick that we're at Jesus Church and that our goal is not to have spiritual awakenings. Our goal is to have moments with Jesus, that we become more like him. That's what we sing. That's why we're going to read this book. And this book is super, super old, but it's not dead. I love this book because every time you read it, the author reads it with you. It's unlike any other book in the whole world. And so when we go to this book, I believe it's going to challenge you, encourage you, and maybe give you some things to consider today. And so if you have a Bible, go with me to the book of Nehemiah. It's in the Old Testament, book of Nehemiah. Maybe you haven't spent some time in the Old Testament lately, outside of Song of Solomon. Church jokes. Nehemiah. I'm going to do a preaching nightmare today and try to preach through 6 chapters of Nehemiah. There's a little bit here and there. We won't read all the chapters. Some of you are like, that's a lot of Bible. We're like, just get little pieces throughout the chapters. And we're going to land in, bye, Lyle. Have a good day. Thanks for coming, man. Good to see you. Have a good weekend. I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. Take a little bit from each chapter. Then we're going to land in chapter 6, verse 1. It's like we're going to land there. But go with me to the book of Nehemiah, chapter 1. And I don't think it's on the screen, unfortunately, because I didn't give them my notes. So that's on me. Tech team, that's on me. I apologize. I know what that's like to not have anything on the screen. But Nehemiah chapter 1. Turn there, and my title for our talk today, my title for my message is Something Worth Building. Something worth building. Let's pray as we jump into Nehemiah chapter 1. Jesus, I thank you for this room. I thank you for those online. I pray for those that are watching later today, later this week. Holy Spirit, we're asking you to speak to us. If this is the newest and the most unknown experience that we've ever had, Holy Spirit, I pray you to awaken our heart, awaken our mind. I pray for those that are been in church the whole life, or this is day number 1 and everywhere in between. Jesus, we're asking you to reveal yourself through your word. Open our eyes, open our ears, open our heart today as we consider the things of you. We thank you for today. Be here as we spend moments in your word. And all of God's people said? Amen. Amen. I am on the Christian horoscope. I'm an Enneagram 8. Okay? I am an Enneagram 8, wing 8. Okay? I'm a double 8. Okay? There's no wing to me. I am an 8 through and through. Okay? All that means is I'm very loud, I'm very competitive, and I will not lose. Okay? As Lyle and Spencer found out yesterday, I will talk trash the whole time. I will own mental real estate in your head. I will live there. I will pay rent up there. I will live there for the entirety of the game, whatever we're playing. I don't care if it's chess. I don't care if it's basketball. I don't care if it's Fortnite. I will own your mental real estate as we play a game. But this is the thing about me. If I know there's a chance I can lose, I won't play. So like, that's super petty. Yes, it is. But if there's like a chance I'm not going to win, I'm out. I won't play. I'm busy. Right? I won't show up. I'm very competitive. I played college basketball. I played 4 sports in high school. Like all I did was either in a weight room or a gym or a field majority of my life. And so I love sports. And my son is starting to get a little competitive. My son's almost 8, and his name is Cruz Jackson, and he's the sweetest boy in the world. But he is starting to get very competitive, and he doesn't like losing. Like when he loses on Fortnite, he like weeps, right? He's like so upset. And like sometimes we'll like be playing a game, and like he'll like beat me and like look at me and be like, I'm better than you. And I'm like, oh. So then I start playing, and I crush him in whatever game we're playing. It's like, Dad, you're being mean. I'm like, yeah. You're gonna learn today. You're a 7. Until you're gonna lose today, son. It's like, it's not fair. Get better. That's all I got for you. Listen, I'm not the parent. I'm so against the participation awards. You lost. You're a loser. Come back again. Do better. Loser. I'm just kidding. But I just like there's winners and losers, right? Like I don't like the participation award. Like we're gonna get better. We're gonna go home and work out. We're gonna go home and practice, and we're gonna come back and do better, right? Like I don't understand that. I think we're setting ourselves up for failure when it comes to growth in our lives. But I'm super competitive, and something that I've learned about myself is I want to be on the winning team. I want to choose people around me that we're going to win, that we're going to do well, that we're going to compete. Whether it's a game or a relationship or whatever, I want to win. And hear me, friends, when you read the end of this book, we win. It's like a spoiler alert. Like the movie's already over. Like the script's already been written. Like we win. But the thing that we win is when we are helping build the thing that Jesus is building. Not to burst your bubble, but by the way, Jesus is only building one thing. He's not building 10 things. He's not building 5 things. He's not building 6 things. He's building one thing. And it's called the local church. That's it. That's what he's building. That's where we have some very excited people about the local church this morning. Top givers right there. We want to be a part of something that he's a part of, and it's called the local church. And so today, I'm not a guest pastor, I'm not a traveling minister, I'm not an itinerant preacher. I'm a local church pastor, and I have committed my life to this thing called the church. Does it have flaws? Yes, but I'm committed. Does it have some weird uncles and aunts? Yeah, but I'm committed. Well, have we been on the wrong side of history a few times? Yes, but I'm committed. If that is what Jesus has given his life to, this is what I will give my life to. Why? Because I want to win. I want to be on the winning team. And if it's the local church that wins, that's where my time, effort, and energy is going to. And so today I'm going to talk about something worth building. And by the way, the thing worth building is the church. It's worth building. Legacy is worth building. Lau has paid me to say nothing this morning. This is all of my want, okay? So this isn't like subliminally like I'm saying things for Lyle. Legacy is worth your time. It's worth your money. It's worth your energy. It's something worth building. Do you know why? Do you know why it's worth building? Because it's going to live longer than you do. That's why. It's going to be here when you go. When you go stand before that throne and live in eternity, guess what's still going? The church. That's why it's worth building, because it's going to outlive you. And that's why your money is important, because you're sowing into an eternal kingdom that you will reap forever. There's no service after this, so I just get to preach for a minute. Do you know there's 4 or 5 times in the Old Testament that God says, because of my servant David, I will? 300 years after David dies, he says, because of my servant David, I'll do it. So my question to you is, what are you leaving your children? What are you leaving your grandchildren? What are you leaving your great-grandchildren? Because 300 years after you were gone, your legacy could still be receiving your faithfulness because you decided 300 years later, it's because of David. David's been dead for a long time. He goes, yeah, because of him, I'll do it for you. It's called the local church. The thing that Jesus is building. And by the way, there is no plan B. If this doesn't work out, he doesn't have another option. This is it. And if the church was worth his life, it's worth mine. Nehemiah chapter 1. Today's going to be fun. Sorry, Nord. I was going to step on you. Nehemiah chapter 1. A little context of the book of Nehemiah. It's a man named Nehemiah. Now they're all on the same page. Nehemiah is the cupbearer to a king. The king his name is Artaxerxes. He is the king. Nehemiah is his cupbearer. What was a cupbearer? The cupbearer was the one that would taste all the wine before the king drank it to make sure nobody was poisoning him. He was the one that ate all the food to make sure that nobody was trying to kill him. He was in the meetings in the rooms to make sure that nobody was trying to kill the king. He was the most important person to the right hand of the king to make sure that he was alive, he was protected, and he was taken care of. This is his job. Side note, Nehemiah is a Jew, which he's a follower of Yahweh. He's a follower of Yeshua. He is a Jew. King Artaxerxes is not. He is an atheist, if you will. He is an agnostic. He does not believe in the God of Israel. He does not believe in the God of Jehovah. He does not believe in Nehemiah's God. Let me just start this way for all of you, which is probably all of you but like 6 that don't work for the church. But everyone else in here, you are in ministry elsewhere. So those of you that work for a boss that is not a Christian, how you treat your boss is how you view God. Nehemiah found the way to honor someone who does not honor what he honors. And he was so much willing to honor that man, he put his life before him. Let me taste the wine for you. Let me eat the food for you. Let me make sure you're protected. Why? Because he was so committed to his post. Even though the man he was committed to did not honor the God that he honors. He still believed this was my job before God, to honor this man as God. As I honor God, I'm honoring him. So those are like, oh, I was late because I was praying. You're not honoring God. Well, he's not a Christian. He doesn't deserve my honor. Yes, he does. My boss is not a Christian believer. He doesn't deserve my honor, my respect, my time. Yes, he does, because how you treat your boss is in a connection to how you view God. And it doesn't matter if your boss is a Christian, atheist, agnostic, or anti your God. How you act in that role is showing how you view the God that you serve. And Nehemiah wants to go do something. Nehemiah wants to be sent to go do something. We'll read it in a second. And he says, if I've honored you and I'm pleasing to you, send me. Which we'll get there in a moment. Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 4. When I heard this, we'll start in verse, we'll start in verse 1. Verse 1. In late autumn, the month of Kislev, remember the month of Kislev, the 20th year of reign of the king Artaxerxes, I was at the fortress of Susa. Hananiah, one of my brothers, came to me, and some other men with him also just arrived in Judah. And I asked them about the Jews who had returned back from captivity and how things were going in Jerusalem. They said to me, things are not well. For those who have returned to the province of Judah, they are in great trouble and they are in disgrace. The wall of Jerusalem has been torn down, and the gates have been destroyed by fire. Verse 4, when I heard this, I sat down and wept. In fact, for days I mourned. I fasted and I prayed to the God of heaven. He records his prayer. Let's jump to verse 10. The people you rescued by your great power and strong hand are your servants. Verse 11, O Lord, please hear my prayer. Listen to the prayers of those who delight in honoring you. Look at this. Please grant me success today by making the king look favorably upon me. Put it in his heart to be kind to me. Early the following spring, in the month of Nisan, 4 months later, during the 20th year of King Artaxerxes' reign, I was serving the king his wine. I had never before appeared sad in his presence. So the king asked me, why are you sad? You don't look sick to me. You must be deeply troubled. I was terrified. But I replied, long live the king. How can I not be sad? For the city where my ancestors are buried is in ruins, and the gates have been destroyed by fire. The king asked, how can I help you? With a prayer to the God of heaven, I replied, if it pleases the king, if you are pleased with me, your servant, send me to Judah. Notice how Nehemiah doesn't come to the king and go, God told me to go. Hey, king, I know you don't honor God. I know you're a heathen. I know you're not a believer. But my God has a mission for me, and I'm going. God said to me, I had a dream to start a new business. God said to me to take the raise in the other part of the department. God told me to leave to a new firm. God told me to switch jobs. You know, he starts the conversation. If I've been pleasing to you, send me. Listen, you have two choices when you want to transition. Either you leave or you're sent. When you want to transition to a new season, a new life, you either leave or you're sent. He had so much confidence that he's been honoring to the king. He doesn't even bring up God's name. He goes, if I've been pleasing to you, send me. And he was such a servant. The king goes, how can I help you? Do you know when you're walking favorably before God is with those who are against him are still for you? I don't even honor your God. But I cast favor upon you because you've been a good servant here. Can I talk to all of you? I want to start my own business. You should lead in such a way at your business now that when you would start your own business, your current boss goes, let me send you with resource. Let me send you with favor. Why would you do that? Because how you've acted while you were here. Do you know why this matters? What was the first month? Kislev? The second month, Nisan. Those are 4 months apart. 4 months that Nehemiah has wept, been distraught. This isn't just like an emotional moment for him. He's deeply distraught about his hometown with the Jews. And the king goes, what's wrong? You seem sad. Hear me. For 4 months, hear me, his hand was with the king, but his heart was with his people. It takes a mature Christian to still lead with your hand when your heart is parted. It takes a mature leader to keep your hand to the plow at your job or business while your heart is elsewhere. Listen, I know your heart is in Texas, but guess what? Your hand is here. I know your heart is with that family member, but your hand is here. I know your heart is to transfer to the different part of the department, but your hand is in that one. Are you able to still commit your hand when your heart is moved elsewhere? And super Christians, super spiritual, like, my passion's gone. My passion's gone. I don't know why we talk like this, but like, my passion's gone. My heart's moved on. Cool, that's fine. Your heart's moved, but your hand is still here. And how diligent are you to continue your hand when your heart is left? Because how you do it in this season, friend, is how you do it in the next. Can I talk to the older people in the church? Have you realized that how you leave one season is how you start another? They continue. So if you're going to leave a season incorrect, you'll start your new one incorrect. And this is what happens. You go from season to season, job to job, church to church, friend to friend, and everything you don't want continues. And you're like, what? Because we lie to ourselves. Oh, location changes me. You know what's really weird? Wherever you go, you're there. So like, honey, if drama is everywhere you go, you might be it. If anger's everywhere you go, you might be it. If there's dysfunction in every relationship you're in, you might be it. Because wherever you go, you're there. And we lie to ourselves. We get super spiritual. Lord, plant me somewhere new. As if location changes the eternal heart's posture. New church, new job, new marriage, new friends, you're still there. Are you able to continue with your hand when your heart is moved? This is all intro. I'm just slowly getting in here, okay? I'm offended. Half the church already have been here for 15 minutes. I won't be here next weekend. Come back. It'll be way better next weekend. Nehemiah wants to go be with the Jews. He wants to go rebuild the wall in Judah. But he's here. He goes to the king and he says a prayer, I want to go. My first challenge to you today is kind of the overarching thing that we'll unpack for the next 22 minutes. Is some of you need to switch bags. Some of you need to switch bags. Like, what do you mean by that? Some of you have been in the popcorn bag Christian for far too long. This is a big old bag of Boom Chicka Pop. Sweet and salty kettle corn. So good. You know what's interesting? Nehemiah is moved emotionally. He wants to go do something. But he doesn't just get emotionally moved. He lets his heart move his hand. So 4 months come up and he's given the opportunity. The king asked him. Notice he didn't inject himself. The king asked him, what's wrong? Because God's dreams are opened by God conversations. You don't have to force your way in there. You have to force the conversation. You have to force your hand. You don't have to force no, the king brought it up. And he goes, well, this is my chance. I want to go be with my people. And the king says, go. Now, Nehemiah could have easily been like, well, Ezra's there. The Jews are there. I don't need to go. I can just sit back and just watch. And churches are full of popcorn Christians. I wonder how the church is doing. You know? Man, band was great this morning. I mean, they show up like 6 a.m., get up like at 5:15, do their makeup and their hair, choose their outfit, get in the car, get their kids ready, serve all morning, do 2 services. And they have to like clean up and stuff. That's a long day. How do they do it? Super long. I wonder what it would be like to like serve all day. It's a long day. Man, those kids are crazy. You heard them screaming? I couldn't even imagine serving with the kids all Sunday. Man. And you spent 5 years with your popcorn bag watching the church. I wonder how like giving's going. Man, there's a lot going on at Legacy. How do we financially afford it? I wonder how that happens. We just bought a new building. That would have been a lot of work. I wonder what that was like. And you spent 5 years watching. You've spent 5 years watching the church grow, and you haven't. I love Christians. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Whoa! For a year, 5 or 3, you sat in the back with your popcorn bag, wondering, how do we afford that? Man, that was a lot of work. Some of you need to switch away from your popcorn bag and grab a work bag. Put your work boots on, put your hat on, tie your shoes, and show up to church as a worker, as a builder. You know what? I have a gift to play the drums, but if we have too many drummers and kids workers are needed, put me on the wall. Singing's my favorite thing. I have the voice of an angel. But if you need to be behind a camera so Spencer can actually not be back there the entire time, put me behind a camera. I don't know how to do it, but I can find out how to do it. It's not my skill. It's not my passion. But if that's where you need my hand's going to go there. My heart's not even in that. But if that's where my hand needs to go, I'm tired of watching my church grow. I'm tired of watching everything. I'm going to put my popcorn bag down. I'm going to grab my work bag and show up to work. Could you imagine what we could do with a church full of workers? And I'm saying we because I'm in this now. Could you imagine what we could do with 400 or 500 adults going, I'm here to work. I'm here to work. The popcorn's getting stale, isn't it? Popcorn only lasts so long until it starts getting real stale. And this is what you do. When your legacy bag gets stale, you just go to a different church and get a new bag. Can I just be your uncle this morning? If you've been church hopping, stop. It ain't helping no one, including yourself. Listen to me. A traveling seed does not grow. A planted seed does. If you're here in the morning and over at Belonging Afternoons and over at Grace Chapel on Friday, I don't know if that's a church. I don't know. I'm making up names at this point. It is? The Lord's faithful, you know? If you're like, like St. Baptist down the road. I don't know, like, those two words don't even go together. St. Baptist, like two different. Listen to me. If you're here at 9 a.m., there at 11, there on Tuesday, there on Friday, stop. You ain't helping no one, especially yourself. Do you know why many Christians church hop? So nobody has context on their life. I'm a PK. I've been in church a long time. I know you. Same person, different name. I know you. You ain't helping no one. Put your bag down. Put your popcorn bag down. It's getting stale anyway. Get your work bag. Get your boot and shoes on and show up to work. Because this church is not going to fulfill its destiny with popcorn Christians. It ain't. But it's going to fulfill it with a bunch of workers. Right about now, you're like, is there a game on, or is there something else I could, like get on my phone for? Or it goes like this: oh, I'm so glad the leadership team is going to step up. Because we've taken Christian principles and made them leader qualifications. I ain't talking to leaders, I'm talking to Christians. I'm talking to staff. I'm not talking to like the team lead level. I'm not talking to like the exec, or I'm not like right, oh, good, the leaders are going to step up. Oh, no, friend. This is about Christians, not leaders. And then right about now, those who are already doing a lot feel like they should do more. Because most churches, 20% of the church does 80% of the work. That's how it works. And those who are already doing a lot, I'm going to step up and do more. And those who are doing nothing, still do nothing. You can only attend a church for so long and stay as a receiver. At some point, friend, you move from receiver to builder. That might be a few months. I don't know. But at some point, that shift happens. And you go, I'm here to build. Because churches like Legacy and Rose and churches that are growing are not built off popcorn attenders. They're built off builders. Second thing I want to tell you today, staying in the palace is safer. Let's just consider this. Let's just give the Bible context. Nehemiah is in the palace. He gets the king's wine. He gets the king's food. He gets the king's safety. He gets the king's prestige. He's living life. Like those of you living in Oak Hill, like you're living life. Or 12 West, wherever that street was called. 12 South. 12 West, 12 South, 12 East, I don't know, whatever it is. Right? Like, he's living life. But he's so moved, he would rather put himself in danger than hide in the palace. Hiding in the palace is safer. You know what's safer in the palace? Your money. Your money's a lot safer in the palace. Because once you get out of the palace and pick up your bag, your money ain't safe no more. Wasn't you saving for your first house? You got 18 grand saved. Can't wait for your first home. And then real obnoxious Jesus comes by. Give it away. You're like, devil? No, that's not the Lord. That is the devil. Get behind me, Satan. And then 2 days later, comes back again. Give it away. Saving for your first brand new car because you've been riding your 92 Volvo for 20 years now. You have the money to buy your first car, and he goes, give it away. Friend, your money's safer not following Jesus. Your time is safer not following Jesus. I can't wait to serve. No, they'll show up at 6 a.m. I'm busy. It's a long day. It is. Thursday night practice too? Man, this church is using people. And then you do this. You pray in your journal, Lord, use me, but then you leave the church 2 weeks later for being used. Listen, I know you. Listen, Christians are Christians. Like, oh, Lord, use me! And then 6 months later, that church is using people. I'm leaving. Why did you leave Lacey? I was used. Listen, I know there's an extreme. Some churches do use and abuse people, okay? I'm not making light of that. That's very, very real, okay? But for many of us, like, you're not being used. Listen, you're not a volunteer, you're a servant. Two different things, friends. We're not here volunteering. This isn't a city outreach. We're not volunteering our time. We are serving. And if serving wasn't below Jesus, why is it below you? God, you guys are killing me right now. It's safer, friends. It's safer to stay in the palace. But some of you have been in the palace for too long. It's time to get out. Put your popcorn away. Pick up your work bag and say, Jesus, send me. You know this, right? You know this. You guys are all super spiritual. You know this. You are not allowed to be saved and not sent. It's not allowed. It doesn't work that way. Whoever is saved is then sent. What did Jesus come to the cowards hiding behind the locked doors? In John, after the resurrection, right? They're hiding, a bunch of cowards hiding behind locked doors. Jesus just walks through the door. And then he says this, as I was sent, I'm sending you. Yes. You can't be saved and not sent. I'm prodding you, I'm challenging you, get out of the palace. Get your bag and come work. The Nehemiah 3, we won't read it because I want to get somewhere today that I didn't get to at 9 because we ran out of time. Thanks, Spencer. Nehemiah 3, you can read through the whole chapter. It says so-and-so was next to so-and-so. So-and-so was next to so-and-so. The son of so-and-so was next to son of so-and-so. For the entire chapter. Super obnoxious, doesn't mean anything to us until you realize all those families had nothing in common. The only thing they had in common was they wanted to build. Go through. I wrote it down in Nehemiah 3. There is priests, perfume makers, men, women, children, merchants, goldsmith, city governors, landowners, slaves, lower class, upper class, middle class, wealthy, poor, in the middle. In name, so-and-so was a perfume maker. They were next to the merchant. Merchant was next to the priest. The priest was next to the... What do those people have in common? What does a priest and a perfume maker have in common? Nothing except we're here to build. Hear me, friend. Third thing today, there's a spot for you on this wall. You can look back and like, oh, everything's taken care of. Oh, it's not. This might look pretty. We need help. We walk in, oh, there's band and there's lights and the sound. Well, they're good. No, we're not. We need help. Just because we have things put together does not mean it's holding all together, okay? Like, we need help. And you can look like, oh, there's no place for me. There's a place for you on this wall. And it's time for you to get your bag and go, put me on the wall. Put me on the wall. Because Legacy's future is not about attendance, it's about builders. Builders. It's a mentality switch. It goes like this. I'm not feeling really well this morning. It'd be easier to stay home and just watch online. If you're online, I love you, no guilt whatsoever. Just thought about that. But then someone goes, no, I need to be there. I need to be there for worship. I need to be there for the word. I need to be there. I'm building this thing. I need to be there. So it's a mentality switch. Just something shifts into like, no, I'm helping build this thing. Not just attending this thing. Nehemiah 6. We got here, friends. We did it. Nehemiah 6 and verse 1. Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem the Arab, the rest of our enemies, found out that I had finished rebuilding the wall and it had no gaps remaining. Though we had not yet set up the doors for the gates. So Sanballat and Geshem sent a message to me, asking to meet them at one of the villages. But I realized they were plotting to harm me. So I replied by sending them this message. I'm engaged in a great work and I cannot come. So why should I stop working to come meet with you? 4 times they sent me the same message and I replied the same each time. This is where I want to pause today and be a pastor. When you get on the wall, because now I've convinced all of you to get on the wall, like about 100 of you need to go sign up for a serve team right when the service is over. So now that we're all on the same page, we're all going to get on the wall. Yeah? Once you find your place on the wall, Sam Ballot always comes by to get you off. Once you find your place on the wall, and you start serving, you start leading, there's always a Sam Ballot that comes by to go, get off so I can talk to you. And Nehemiah's response is, I'm busy building something great. Too busy. What are you too busy with? Building something great. And I can't come talk to you. Today, as your crazy uncle, I want to give you 4 things that are going to try to get you off the wall. 4 things. Number 1, God let me down. One of the things that's just trying to beckon you off the wall is when you feel like God let you down. You start serving, start giving, start attending the Marriage Connect group, you start being a part of the band and giving Thursday nights and Sunday mornings, and instead of your marriage getting better, it gets worse. You start giving and you thought your business was going to explode, and it shrunk. You thought being more involved, you have more friends, but now you have less. You thought you'd be happier, but you're more depressed than you were when you started. You thought you'd feel more fulfilled, now you feel less. And you're on the wall just working. And then you're like, why am I working? I don't feel God. I don't sense God. Actually, we did get the divorce. My cousin did die. The business did shut down. She did leave. Why am I working? And you slowly start calming down the ladder. And all of you have friends that used to be in this room and now they're not. Because they say, like, God let me down. It didn't work out how I thought. I thought if I'd pour my life into the church and into Legacy College, I thought everything would just mushroom into a glorious life, and instead it got worse. And one of the main things that would get you off this wall is when you feel like I was let down. My wife and I have been married for 10 years. We got married in July of 2011. In an 18-month period, my dad got cancer, almost died a couple times. Our best friend's baby had a miscarriage. They've been trying for a long time. Their best friends, their 2-month-old baby died because the hospital put the wrong IV in his neck and killed him. Julie's dad went to prison for pretty much life. We moved, we had a baby. My campus pastor died of ALS in 18 months. While I'm a youth pastor, I'm doing the Lord's work. And I had these moments of like, I'm the good guy. I am tithing. I am preaching. I am serving. I'm not cheating on my wife. What did I do? And the verse in Job came back to me where Job says, I will not dishonor the Lord with my mouth. Well, his wife said, curse him. Curse him. And Job goes, I will not dishonor the Lord with my mouth. Friend, there's going to be seasons when pain is more present than joy. There's going to be pain. There's going to be presence of loss. I want to submit a thought to you guys for those of you in that. There's a difference between wandering faith and wavering faith. And I would submit to you, if you've never wandered, you've never followed. Because, friend, there's going to be some seasons you're like, where are we going? Where are you at, God? I thought you were the healer. Why is everyone dying? I thought you were the provider. Why I keep getting fired? You will have seasons of wandering. Don't let wandering turn into wavering. You're not called to waver, but you will wander. The first thing trying to beckon you off is God let me down. The second thing, that's going to get you off the wall. Bitterness. Resentment. Unforgiveness. Offense. 2020 was a year that everybody was offended at everything. Everything was offensive. Everyone was offended. Why? Because we got soft, friends. That's why. We got soft. Especially in Woke City, Portland. We got soft. And this is what starts happening. You're looking for a way to leave. You're looking for someone to offend you. Because you want another reason not to serve. You want another reason not to give. Honey, if you can't walk into any room without someone being there that's offended you, maybe you're it. If every room, dude, that you walk into and there's someone there that's offended you, you're the common denominator. We start serving, we're having fun, and then church is over and they don't invite you out to food. I'm leaving Legacy. Why? Super cliquey over there. What are we in junior high? They're cliquey. I don't like it. So we talk. I don't like it. They're cliquey. You're leaving the church because you weren't invited to Lyle's house for lunch? Then why were you here in the first place? I wasn't on the album. They didn't play my part. I'm coming for you. They didn't choose my song. Why'd you write the song? For an album? They didn't schedule me. That's how petty. That's how I'm doing this. That's how petty we sound. And we get offended, and we leave. And then you go to another church, and it happens again. And you go to another church, it happens again. Because we're looking for an offense-free life. Jesus is asking for an offense-free heart. You're not going to find an offense-free life. Even in church, because Christians are crazy. You ain't going to find it. But you can have an offense-free heart. And be quick to forgive. Leaders in the room, you don't have time to live offended. You don't have time. You're too busy building something great. Number one, God let me down. Number two, offense. And by the way, those are, I have church hurt. Welcome to the club. It's a very large club. It's the largest connect group in any church. I have church hurt. Yeah. Welcome. You want to exchange stories? Listen to me. You know what's really, really weird about church hurt? Do you know what fixes it? Church. Because the Holy Spirit has a unique way of using the thing that hurt you to heal you. So that's like girls with dad issues, what's going to fix it? The right man. Because God uses the thing that hurt you to heal you. It's the same with church. You know what fixes church hurt? Church. God offended me. I'm offended. God let me down. Number 3, the thing that's going to get you off the wall, comparison. Comparison. They're liked more than me. She's better than me. He's better than me. He's more gifted than me. I'm not needed here. I'm not wanted here. I'm not used as much. And we start comparing amongst ourselves, by ourselves. And Paul says that's stupid. It's stupid. You know, listen to me. You cannot compare harvest, but you can compare hustle. Don't waste your time comparing harvests, but you can compare hustle. They just work harder than you. They're more disciplined than you. They put more time in than you. They develop themselves more than you. Don't waste your time comparing harvests, but you should compare hustle. Comparison is the thief of joy. You start getting churches like, well, I don't have a voice like her, and I can't play like him, and I'm not like as skinny as her, and I'm not as tall as him, and I don't look like her, and I don't. Stop. One of the main ways you get off this wall, comparison. Comparison. I'm prepping you because this is all going to happen. So as you've chosen, you and I, to get on this wall, let's just preemptively protect our heart. In advance, protect your heart. Because there are going to be seasons that God has let you down. Or you feel that way at least. Offense is going to happen. Comparison is going to happen. And last, the 4th reason why you're going to get off the wall. You failed. And this is how it goes. You're going to lead worship after what you did Friday night. You're going to serve this Sunday after the argument you and your wife had Thursday. You're going to serve in the kids after you just like disrespected yours all week. You're going to preach after that thought you had on Saturday. One of the main things that gets you off the wall, shame. Failure. Past or present. 5th grade starts coming back up again. I'm disqualified. Do you remember freshman year of college? Man, if anyone knew what I was like before Jesus, I would not be allowed to serve. Do you know what we were like all before Jesus? A hot mess. Because God builds this wall with broken bricks. And like, I don't know, I'm already so far into the message, I might as well just offend you some more. But like, you're really upset like how much they smell like weed, but like God's upset like how much you smell like pride. It's like the same thing to him. Like we're so quick to judge like outwardly sin as if Jesus doesn't see your inwardly sin. Like, I think we've forgotten he sees it all. The best leaders that extend the most grace have realized they've received the most grace. And you can always tell people's relationship with God and how their relationship with other people. Because people treat people how they think God treats them. That's why you make everyone earn their forgiveness because you think God makes you earn his. I'm not trying to be like wowsy, but it's like we treat people how we think God treats us. We do. It's time for you to get on the wall. It's time for you to put your popcorn bag down, pick up your work bag, and come to work. Because Legacy's future is connected to workers, not attenders. Why? I'm done. Because this is something worth building. That's why. It's worth your time. It's worth your money. It's worth your skills and talents and gifts. It's worth it. But we need more builders. We need you on the wall. You need to go sign up for a serve team. At some point, receivers switch to builders. And some of you, today is your day. You've been sitting here eating popcorn for too long. It's time to switch backs. I'm going to end here. Lau and Allison, I think I have a word for you guys. This is very awkward. I feel like I was sent here, but specifically to you and Allison, as a family member that's not around all the time, to, how do I word it? To be an echoing voice when your eyes don't know where to go. And while we're in worship, the thing that I felt from the Holy Spirit to tell you guys is there's a difference between a river and a flood. The difference between a river and a flood are banks. Banks. Floods are destructive. Rivers are healing. In the context of Scripture, a flood was always negative. Rivers are always healing. And your future is going to be God giving you banks to make sure that you are always a blessing of a river. When you remove banks, it turns into a flood. And God is going to bring you banks. And those banks are people. People. What about this? I didn't think about that. I don't think we should. There's going to be individuals and couples that are going to become banks. Because the house, right, worship is great, all that stuff, which is awesome. But by the way, we don't come here to like be in a glory crowd. We come here, like, church is not to like come to one worship the whole time. The church is here to save people that don't know Jesus. Clarification. And I feel like the last 5 years has been a wandering river and a wandering flood, that banks are coming. And the thing about banks, it makes the river stronger. Because floods get crazy and they start going everywhere. Banks get momentum. They get stronger and faster because it's going in a direction now. So I feel like banks are coming. And I feel like I'm the one that was sent to help you start building banks. I can't help you with a ton of stuff, but I can help you with banks. And God's going to bring people to add them to legacy that are bank builders. We don't call them that because that's too cheesy. But you're going to know who they are. That they're just going to be banks that keep the river moving forward. She wants to say something.
I'm the better half. I always say that. But I had a word for your pastor's wife, Miss Allison. You're an Esther. God's called you to be an Esther. And you were born and raised in this city. And you had to go away for a little time. And you were prepared to go there. But I see God had to bring you back to save your people. And they're out of your faith. You know, the Bible says, as we delight ourselves in him, he'll give us the desires of our heart. You have delighted, and you have been faithful. And God is going to pour out of you books, ministry, mantle, authority. There is a preacher inside of you to save the lost. And you have a mantle and an authority on you to speak the truth with fire and passion, but love. My God, you are a gift and bundle of love, Allison, and you are called to be his partner. And I just see both of you. We have a princess and a prince, and God is putting you into the place of true authority in this next season. I see both of you rising in a new level, and you will be on a higher platform, and people will say your name, and people will say high praises, but it's you two know the secret sauce, and it's because you worshiped at his feet. And it's because you delighted, and I see you dancing as a little girl in his presence. You've known the Spirit from such a young age. I just see you dancing and delighting, and because of that delight, great fortune and great prosperity will come over you, and not because you want that, but you want him. But God's going to take you guys from glory to glory and move you into a higher level of authority. Even in this city, I see you having mayors and people of the city, and they're giving you land and then giving you favor in the land because, daughter, you are a queen, and son, you are a king. And even over Lyle, I see you even growing in your intercession, and I see you praying for the city, and your heart is breaking for the lost, and I see you moving in a new mantle of even going out to the people that are lost, and you have a new language because of your past, and you know what it is to be a prodigal son, but you have known what it is to be in the embrace of a father, and you know what it is to be hugged by a person that should have thrown you out, but you were embraced by such a love. You were kissed by the Father, and because you were marked and because you are kissed by him, you will find great favor in this city, for God has put you here, not in Kentucky, not in Southern California, not in North Carolina, in Nashville, Tennessee, to have an anointing and an authority, and your banks will be filled, and your harvest will be great, and your workers will be many because of your delight in your King. And from a kingship to a kingship, you know what it is to be a son. I see you preaching about sonship and all of that, but I know that God has been faithful to you, and he will continue to be. Has he not been good to you? Has he not been faithful to you? That will lead you into the next level and the next season. God bless you.
She's better than me, you know? Last thing I'll say, and we're going to pray because we're going to be here for a couple hours. One of the main things that pain gives you is a new language. Pain gives you a new tongue. It changes your language. And you get to speak to people that you wouldn't know how to speak to otherwise, but it's because of the pain you went through. One of the main things that pain does is gives you a new language. I'm going to say this, we're done. I'm done. Those of you that have had pain, get back on the wall. Get back on the wall. Because there's other people on the wall that need your language. We've all been hurt. Some of us deeper than others. I'm a PK. I've been hurt my whole life. Church people suck. Like, let's just all get on the same page, okay? Like, but some of you have left the wall and won't get back on because you're hurt. And it's real. It's painful. But you need to get back on the wall. Because there's people on the wall that are waiting for someone to speak their language. And if you don't get on the wall, they will leave it. Get on the wall. Become a builder and a worker. And get your bag. And get ready to work. I'm going to pray. If you would like to become a worker in the house, would you stand? And hear me, I don't mean this like as a joke. If you don't want to, stay sitting. Like, seriously, like, stay sitting. Because, like, God is going to see you stand up. It's like if you're like, I'm ready to become a builder. I want to work. I need to move. I need to shift bags. Something's got to click in me. I need to become a builder. Maybe you already are. Maybe today's a shift day for you. And if you're not ready, please stay seated. Like, please, I don't mean it out of awkwardness at all. Like, if this isn't your season or time, sit. Because God's going to see you stand. Father, I pray right now. Father, for every person standing, every couple, every leader, every single person, every businessman and woman, God, we're here to build. We're not here to spectate anymore. We're not here to sit back and watch with our popcorn and just like assume how the church is going, God. We are here to work. Let us find a spot on the wall. Let us put our hand to the plow. Let us put our weight behind the plow. Let us find somewhere to work. God, let us get involved in teams and serving, band, kids, parking lot, cafe, welcome, admin. God, any section, let us find somewhere to plug in. We are here to work, Jesus. We know the future is going to take workers, not attenders. The future is going to demand that we need more workers, more people to put their hand to the plow and build. And Father, I pray for the banks. I pray for those people to come by and build banks as this river is moving forward. We thank you for it today, Jesus, that today is a shift in the church. Today is a shifting day. Today is a leaf that is turning over into a building season. In teams, family, connect groups, kids, every aspect, God. Let it be a building season. And we're here, God. You see us. We're here. We want to build. In your mighty name I pray. And everyone said?